We are here again. We are here again. Oh, we are here again. We say welcome, welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning, welcome once again. This is Value Added Thursday. As usual, Thelma Porter here with you. And it's such a pleasure to be with you once again. Today is Thursday, the 21st of August. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, Jamaica time. And this is the time every Thursday that I step in here on my social media pages and I say, welcome, welcome, welcome to you. It's called Value Added Thursday. And it means I come into your life and I add some value to you. And I ask, as you come on, that you go ahead and share this with others. Rest assured, there is something that you will learn. There is some wisdom that you will receive as you spend these 20 minutes to 30 minutes with me. We don't go beyond that. All right. And so it's my pleasure to welcome you. For you joining for the very first time, a special, exceptional welcome to you. And you might ask, who is this person? You might be just scrolling along and you see this person and you wonder, who is this? Well, I am Thelma Porter and I've been in the media landscape for quite a bit. And this is what I call Value Added Thursday. Thelma Porter is a Maxwell Leadership Certified coach, mentor, speaker, trainer. Thelma Porter also is the CEO of Thelma Porter Global Solutions that has conferences and workshops and just mentorship programs. And of course, I'm also the CEO of the Thelma Porter Foundation for Personal Development and Well-being. I'm also a freelancer. I have an online business, so I'm an entrepreneur. I offer proofreading and editing. I offer voiceovers, and also my service includes tutoring in English language to those who are non-native English speakers. So if you're one of those listening from somewhere else around the world, you know a little bit of English, but you would like to master it, you'd like to improve in that, you come to me. I'm the go-to person, and I'll help you to advance in the English language. All right. So that's Thelma. I also have a TikTok account with close to 38,000 people. And that's where I also offer short videos with everything English. So you may go over to TikTok and you may search for Speak English 101. That's Speak English 101. I also have another TikTok account, and that's my ministry account where I minister to people and I tell them how much God loves them. And you can go just search for Thelma Porter. That's it. Thelma Porter Global Ministries, and that's it. You will come right into that. So, welcome once again. Welcome today. We're going to focus on the men. And that means I'm focusing on the women too, because you have the men in your lives, right? You have the husbands, you have the sons, the brothers, you have the uncles, you have the male cousins, you have the male co-workers. So although I'm focusing on men, women, you know that includes you as well. But you are very important to this process. Yes? Hey, Carol, long time no see. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we're going to be focusing on the men. It's not June. June is celebrated as Men's Mental Health Month, also November. So although this is neither June nor November, it is August, but at all times we should be thinking of that, because I'm telling you, women, we do a lot in contributing to how the men are. Not all the time, but I want us to understand and to accept the fact that we do. And men feel too, they do. And so we have to help them to break the silence. So I greet you. Now, even though it is not June, as I said, we're going to be focusing on the men today. And you know what happens? Any of you joining right now, you can actually write in the chat some of the stigmas attached, some of the ways that we have helped to shape the men in our society. For example, they're not to express emotions. They're not supposed to cry when they're boys and they cry for anything. What's the first thing the woman or even their father or even any male in the family will say, shut your mouth, tough up yourself. Boys don't cry. Are you a girl? Kind of a thing. And they say it in the most derogatory way. And those who are here can attest to that. I'm sure you will agree with me. I know. And some of you ladies who might be joining might be guilty of that. You might not be here now, but as you join, as people join and you listen, you will realize that you are guilty too. Hmm? Leave that to your sister, man. Boys don't cry. Yeah, gal, kind of a thing. And we say that, and they grow up feeling that they need to be silent. They're not supposed to talk, because that is, it's not for them. From they're young, they're taught that way. Toughen up. Don't have any deep emotional feeling. Just handle it. You're a man. You're a boy. Boys are tough. You can handle it. You know. And I did a little research, and I found out that men are nearly 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. 4 times more likely. Why? Because they keep everything bottled up inside here. As a matter of fact, let me quickly read something here. Just briefly, what I found in my studies. It says that it's statistics on men's mental health. The National Institute of Mental Health says mental health conditions are more common among women, listen, common among women than men. But this may be because the men aren't opening up and reaching out because they're taught not to. So they might just be suffering more than the women, but they're silent in all of this. And while 51.7% of women with a mental health condition in 2021 received support from mental health services, only 40% of men with a mental health condition did. And why is that so? Because the women are quicker in speaking out about their feelings, about what they're going through than men. And not only that, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, says the suicide rate among males in 2021 was around 4 times higher than the suicide rate among females. And the organization also says that men make up almost 80% of all suicides. Men may also be more likely to engage in substance misuse in place of going for mental care. Can you imagine that? Hmm? Can you imagine that? And they're higher at risk for suicide than women. And it's not because they're stronger, clearly, but it's because they suffer in silence more. And so, women, the onus is on us to help our men. Many times, the men fly off the handle. And as I say that bit of phrase, I must do that on my TikTok account. That's how it comes all the time. Sometimes I'll say things and I say, hey, I can do that on TikTok. Or I might hear somebody saying something, and then it reminds me that that is something that I have not heard in a while, or people need to know the meaning of. Yeah. But back to what I'm saying, many times the men fly off the handle because they don't get support. They're out there, they're working, they're trying to make ends meet. They come, they don't have as much as what they should have in order to help. And instead of understanding the situation and empathizing, the women come with the fuss. And how is John and Jenny going to be at school? The books need to be bought, and it's just bombarding and bombarding and bombarding. And so many times he flies off the handle because he doesn't know any other way to deal with it. He doesn't know any other way. Of course, we are not advocating physical violence, yeah, physical abuse. But remember that the women, you too need to play a part. The mothers, the aunties, the wives, the sisters, you have to understand that many times they're not talking, but they're holding on to this and they are hurting and they are afraid of being vulnerable because of the flack that they will get. Men don't share how they're feeling, men don't share how much they are hurting. they become silent or they disappear. And so we women have to help them with that. And other men who understand this and who are strong enough and mature enough to handle it, you too are needed to help your brothers. High functioning struggles can go unseen. I just explained that. There's overwork. And so you just numb to the whole pain and you don't say anything, or you retaliate, you hit back by physical abuse and men that can't be right, or you snap when you're under stress. And so women, you have to understand your part. When was the last time you asked somebody, how are you doing? And then you remain silent to listen. Many times, Carol, you will attest to this. You will say, hi, how are you? And you continue walking because you expect to hear, I'm fine. But the moment somebody stops and says, no, I'm not right after all, especially a man, it shocks you. You don't even know what to say. Hmm. Excuse me, you don't even know how to react. So what you need to do is to ensure that when you ask someone, how are you? I want you to stop and listen. That might be an invitation to somebody who is breaking, who is hurting inside. Hmm? So how can you really add some value? Is there anybody who wants to write it there in the chat? How can you really do a proper check-in? I'm encouraging you to do the check-in. Check in with your friend, especially since we're focusing on the man today. Check in with that male in your life. And if you say, how are you? And he says, I'm cool, man. You don't have to force him, but if you keep asking, and if you keep showing that you really want to know, you are willing to make the time to listen, then the time will come when he will respond. So do your check-in. Don't be superficial about it. Really ask, hey, how are you? And he might think that, well, it's just a regular thing. How are you? I'm fine. And you move on. You say, how are you? And you remain silent and you look him in the eye. And you say, I really want to know. How are you? Ladies, try that today. Men, you too, try that today. You who are a bit stronger and don't break because people are saying man must be tough and man must man up and man shouldn't show certain types of emotions. You who have gone past that, you who throw away that stigma and you understand what happens. You too, reach out to your brethren. Hey, how are you? Men, reach out to your sons, especially if you do your assessment and you realize that you didn't have that. You too grew up in a culture that said you don't show your emotions. You're not female. And so you've been silent. Hush, hush. Don't do that to your son. Don't do that to your son. You have inherited that. You now must break that. You now must make that change. And you ask your son or your brother, how are you? No, 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 I really want to know, how are things? They might not share everything that first time, but if you keep asking, they'll share. They'll eventually share. So do the check-ins. Don't be superficial about it. And let them be emotionally honest. I want to know. I want to know, how are things with the family? How are things with your children? Have you spoken to your wife about how you're feeling? Have you spoken to your girlfriend about how you're feeling? Do you know that you can seek a therapist? Oh, goodness. Now they're going to say I'm mad. No, man, no go to therapist, that kind of a thing. But let them know that it is okay. If you don't want to speak to me, therapy is important. Therapy, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to let someone know how you feel. And it might be better going to a therapist. Why? Because that person doesn't know anything about you. So that fear that you might have that somebody will go and tell somebody else about your situation, the therapist won't do that. At least the therapist doesn't know anybody that you know to go and tell about you. So seeking therapy might be a very, very important thing to do. If you have a trusted friend, there must be somebody you can trust. There must be. You can't just be going on in this world like that. There must be somebody that you can trust. I know, yeah, even the best of people, they let us down. Family members let us down. Friends betray us. Yeah, but you still, even although that's a reality, the fact still remains. You have to just trust and hope, pray to God that this person is genuine and that this can be a really trusted friend. And of course, they have community groups too that you can join. Hmm? So true strength, men, isn't remaining silent. That's not where your true strength lies. That's not how you demonstrate strength. It's in the courage to speak. It's in the courage to speak. And maybe that's why what I sense I should call this year's mental fitness conference Speak to Heal. And just like last year, I had a segment for men. I will never, and this conference is going to be an annual thing, thank God for that. I will never have this annual conference and not have a section specifically for men. It's just not possible for me because I recognize that men really hurt, and many times the stigma is attached, and because the stigma is attached, they don't even reach out for help. And then there are times when they don't even know to whom to get the help. And so it's very, very important. And so the conference this year, the 10th of October, the theme is Speak to Heal. And that's where we're going to encourage the men to speak out. The early bird finishes on the 25th. So I would suggest that you go ahead and invest between today and the 25th. That 25th midnight is when the early bird ends. And I would suggest that you look at it as an investment in your mental health, an investment in your mental development. So it's mental fitness. It's October the 10th. It's Speak to Heal. Bring out your men. Tell the men about it. Of course, it's going to be hybrid. We'll have it virtual because we know people overseas will want to come. And so we're going to have it online as well. There's an early bird for the people who are online. There it is on the screen. And I really hope that you will attend. It is important. There it is. It's 12,750, but that doesn't come into effect until the 26th of August. Up until the 25th, it's 10,750. The virtual, it's going to be 50 US, but right now the early bird is 40, and that's up to the 25th. It's important. And because it's so important to me, there is a man, that's my mentor. That is, if there's anybody who can speak about vulnerability, it's Paul Martinelli. So virtually, he's going to be a very, very important speaker. And right after him, we're going to have a panel discussion with men who have been hurting, with men who, because they have been taught to lock your mouth, don't talk because you're not woman, and talk is for women, and from their little they grow up. We're going to have a panel discussion comprising men, and the men are just going to just let it all out. Right after Paul's presentation, a panel discussion of breaking the silence, and those men will share exactly what they went through, some of the things that happened to them. Yes, I thank JPS for coming on board again and for sponsoring that. Apostle Dr. Courtney McLean is also going to be one of the speakers. As a matter of fact, he's going to be closing the conference. Yeah, he's going to be closing the conference about speaking and why you need to speak up. And he's going to be sharing, him being a counselor, Yeah, he's going to be sharing from his own experience as well. He has been so vulnerable to his congregation repeatedly. Repeatedly is important. And you see this young man, Kevin Gilbert, just in his 20s, about 23, but he has had a mental breakdown when he was at the university because of the same thing. Boys don't speak. And so he's going to come to share his story and to encourage the men. And I'm hoping he'll bring his tribe, younger men who will be there. So he's going to be there. And I'm just so happy when I reached out to him and he said, with pleasure, with pleasure. He's also a mental health advocate. And so he's going to be sharing his story. I'm really, really excited. There are other speakers who are going to be on too, and you will see and hear about them as we continue. But I really want you to understand the importance of mental health. And there it is in the chat. Go ahead and register because it is very, very, very important. It's extremely important that you be there. And if you think, remember, as I've been saying, just one snap, there is a thin line between mental wellness and mental unwellness. All it can take is a phone call for you to snap, or some situation, or somebody says something, and you just break. You just break. Today, you're talking to somebody and that person is smiling and the life of the party, and tomorrow, that person is in an institution seeking mental help. Let me tell you something. We all, bar none, we all have something going on in our lives. We all have something going on. And I want you to understand that. And so you need to be there to come out to learn, even if you think you're great. All right, let's say you don't think you need it because you're above that. One fact remains, something can happen. Something can happen to break that. So even if it's for the information, come. I did a Facebook post right here on my page where I showed the different things that can constitute mental health challenge. You're not sleeping so well. You're getting agitated for the simplest of things. Right on this Facebook page, I shared that, you know, and you might think that, what? This? I didn't realize that's a mental health challenge. I didn't realize that at all. Oh, yes, it is. I did that post right here, and I made sure to say, this is a bold post. It's a bold post because I decided to be bold and to share that. You might have a great job, you might be well loved in the workspace, you might have people singing your praises, you might be the life of the party, you might drive a luxury car, or you have your own vehicle, you have a home. Yes, you own your home, you dress impeccably, you do well, and you can still be battling a mental health challenge. How? It can come through overthinking. Too many of you overthink. Sometimes what you're thinking, nothing goes like that. But you're overthinking. That's a mental health condition. You might be overeating. That's a mental health condition. Persistent fatigue, even after your rest, you still feel tired. That's a mental health situation. Short burst of anger, and you can't even explain why. You're feeling empty and numb, although you have so-called everything. You're in a crowd, but you're lonely. You're anxious. Even before you do ordinary, everyday, simple tasks, you get anxious. You're struggling to concentrate on simple things. You're smiling in public, but in private, you are bawling. And you're sinking to very dark places when you're out of the limelight, out of the public's eye. Does any of that resonate with you? And that's just a little touch of it. There's so many more things that I could share. All of these things constitute mental health challenge. And so I want you to understand that. And the link is there. I've put the link there. I'd like you to go ahead and really consider. The conference is going to be the 10th of October. That is what we call World Mental Health Day. And I'd suggest, there is the link. I would suggest, thank you, Deline. I would suggest, please go ahead and share this. Please go ahead and share it. Please go ahead and give it the hearts and the thumbs up. Let Facebook understand that you are aware of and you appreciate valuable content. Yeah, many people are liking and they have thousands of likes for things that are not even wholesome. And here is something wholesome. Go ahead, let Facebook show it. Demonstrate to Facebook that you can love valuable content. You can give it the thumbs up, you can give it the heart, and go ahead and share it so that those who are your tribe, who are not my tribe, will see it and will understand. I hope you'll be at that conference. There is the link. Go ahead. It's an investment in your mental health, your mental fitness. And there's a difference between mental fitness and mental health. And that is why I call it Mental Fitness Conference. This is a 2025 edition, and the theme this year is Speak to Heal. Speak to Heal. All right, so go ahead, register. Is there any questions anybody have? You can just write it there in the chat, and I will address those questions. But the link is there, the registration is there. I would encourage you to do the early bird. But some persons, when I look at the registration form, they say they opt, because it is right there on the form, they opt for the after 25th of August, because maybe they know, but some opt for the before the 25th of August. So please, all right, going away from you now, but remember, reach out to the men in your life. Reach out to the men in your life. And if there's any advice you have to give for a man, put it right there in the chat. Yeah. But let me tell you as I leave, men feel too. Encourage the men in your life to speak. The more they shut down, the more they are muzzled, the more they remain silent and not be vulnerable and not speak out, is the worse it is for you, ladies, for you, the other brethren, and for the society. The worse it's going to be. Yeah. So encourage them. They feel too. And real healing begins when we make space for a conversation. That's why we have to speak. Let people know how we feel. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Go ahead and share it. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope I will continue. Every time you see me, I'm going to be talking about it. It's not because I want your money, it's because I'm advocating. And there is no profit here. Because as I get it, it's going to be at the summit. And that's plenty money for the summit. And then the people, the speakers are going to be there. And then food has to be provided for you. But what is in my heart is we have to get rid of the stigma. We have to give the people the information. We have to give them the tools that will help them to understand when this is a mental health and this is one way to fight it. We expose them to where they can go, to whom they can speak. And I want you to help me to help them. And the only way you can help is by investing and coming to it. Fair enough? Fair enough? Fair enough. God bless you. I do appreciate you. I do appreciate, love and appreciate you. And I thank you for what you are going to do to assist in this regard. All right? So God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Bye until next week, Thursday. Remember, it's every Thursday, 6 a.m. Jamaica time. And we're spending no more than 30 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes. So it's time now to go. All right. So every Thursday, 6 o'clock Jamaica time in the morning, work out what that time is in your zone. All right. And I'll see you soon. I might even come before next Thursday. Never can tell. All right. So God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much.